that was amazing. Thank you. Oh, just very heartfelt. So 6-year-old little Angie and 4-year-old Joel were in church sitting together. Joel was giggling and talking out loud, and finally Angie had had enough. He said, "Joel, we don't talk out loud at church." And he said, "Oh yeah, who's going to stop me?" And she said, "You see those people in the back? They're the hushers." We don't have hushers here in Unity, but we call them greeters. But there's a point to that story, and it'll become clear in just a moment when I reveal our theme. We always try to keep it kind of secretive up until the big reveal of what our theme is for the year. And last week we had our white stone ceremony where we set an intention for ourselves. How do we want to show up? How do we want to be? What do we want to embody? What do we want to express this year? And then, so it's a beautiful ritual that we do in Unity. A tradition that we do here at Columbine is always set an intention for the year. Do it in the beginning of the year. And it helps us just stay focused. It helps us have a direction to go in. So this year, it's a great way to start out the year. And as the little girl told her brother not to talk out loud because the hushers would stop him, our theme is to live out loud. And there's no hushers that are going to stop you. There may be people who disagree with the way you're living your life. They may disagree with your passion or your purpose or whatever you're doing, but they can't hush you. So don't let anybody stop you. I love in the Urban Dictionary, which is a crowdsourced online dictionary. It was created in 1999. It says this about live out loud: being yourself, genuine, open, trustworthy, with sass, spice, and flair. Living on purpose, loving others and yourself, living passionately for your values, no matter what. Let others see your light shine and not be scared to be different or worry about others' opinions of you. Living a life you're excited about with purpose on your terms and inspiring others to do the same. Does that sound like something you want to embrace this year? Yeah. Live out loud. Now, it does have a dark side too, living out loud, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking about being obnoxious or loud or getting our way or, insisting on having ourselves be right or anything like that, which is living out loud with passion, with purpose, is never harmful. It's never hurtful to anyone. It's about being true to yourself, about being genuine. And the world needs this. The world needs more of us to be authentically us, to be genuine, to be human, to live in our humanity. It needs us to shine our light. It needs us to show the way for other people. And we can do this. If we take on this mission, if you take this on, you can be a beacon for other people. And the world so desperately needs it. Maybe it's being the best parent you can be. Maybe it's being the best daughter or son you can be. Maybe it's being the best teacher you can be. Maybe it's taking one courageous step towards your dream, whatever that dream is. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be genuine. It has to be you. It has to be coming from your heart, what is longing to come forth out of you. We never know what our actions, our thoughts, our words, what kind of ripple effect they will have on anyone. Unity's third principle is that our thoughts and emotions determine how we experience life. And if you don't know where your consciousness is at, look at your life. It will tell you. It will tell you where your thoughts have been, where your emotions have been. It's a really good indicator of where we are in consciousness. If you don't like what you see, then we have the invitation always to make a shift. to shift it. Have a different thought. Turn it around. Choose differently. Choose to expand. Stop needing to be right. And not with self-blame. We can so look at ourselves and look at our lives and think, man, I blew it. I really blew it. Let that go. Just move, look forward, look ahead. Spirit, God, divine mind, the universe, life, whatever you want to call it, doesn't blame you and doesn't hold a grudge. So stop holding one on yourself. This is above the line kind of thinking, is having an attitude of curiosity. We're going to watch a video from the Conscious Leadership Group, which is about a location. So let's play that.
Location. Brought to you by the Conscious Leadership Group. Find them on the web at www.conscious.is. Animation by Graham Franks, www.grahamfranks.com. One question that conscious leaders ask themselves over and over is, where am I? To support leaders in locating themselves as they ask the question, where am I? We offer this tool, a line, a simple black line. At any moment, all leaders and all people are either above the line or below the line. Our location describes how we're being with what is occurring in our life right now. If we're above the line, we are open, curious, and committed to learning. If we are below the line, we are closed, defensive, and committed to being right. Stop right now and simply ask yourself, where am I? In this now moment, am I above the line or below the line? Typically, when people are below the line, they believe certain things about the world. For example, they believe there is not enough. It could be that there's not enough money, or time, or space, or energy, or love. People below the line also believe that their story about the situation is right. People below the line also believe that there is a threat out there. Something or someone is threatening their desire for approval, control, or security. And people below the line see the situation as serious. The deeper below the line they are, the more serious things look. People below the line tend to behave certain ways as well. They tend to cling to an opinion, find fault and blame, gossip, explain, rationalize and justify, get overwhelmed, and avoid conflict or pursue conflict for the sake of winning. When people are above the line, they believe that learning and growing are more important than being right. They believe that all people and circumstances are their allies, here for their growth. They believe that from a distance, almost everything is funny. People above the line live in curiosity, listen deeply, speak unarguably, question all their beliefs, and live a life of play. Now, knowing what you know about being above or below the line, where are you? One thing to know as you consider this question. We are hardwired to go below the line. Literally, our brain is programmed to perceive threat, and when it does, a chemical cocktail courses through our veins, and we go below the line. This reaction was designed to help us survive in the presence of a real threat to our physical survival. An issue for modern-day leaders is that often our brains can't tell the difference between a threat to our physical survival and a threat to our ego or identity. We react and get defensive when we experience a threat to our ego. So in many ways, being below the line is natural and normal. But when we are below the line, we're not in a state, literally brain state, of high creativity, collaboration, innovation, and relational connection. We're simply trying to survive. Leaders today can't thrive if they're in survival mode. So the first activity of conscious leadership is location. In this now moment, where am I? Telling ourselves and others the truth about our current location begins the great conversation.
Isn't that great? So, yeah. So where are you? Do you want to be above the line, living out loud, or below the line? One great example of someone who lived out loud, lived above the line, was Martin Luther King Jr. We celebrate him tomorrow, MLK Day. American civil rights activist, a Baptist minister. And his great speech, of course, I Had a Dream, during a march on Washington for jobs and freedom on August 28, 1963. He was one of many speakers that day, and Mahalia Jackson, famous gospel singer, sang just before he was to go out and speak. And he got up there and started speaking. He had a speech prepared, and he was talking about the Emancipation Proclamation, calling for civil and economic rights and to racism. And about maybe 2/3 of the way through his speech, Mahalia shouts out, "Tell them about the dream, Martin." Larry told me about this a few months ago. Tell them about the dream, Martin. And he went off script and told them about his dream, which, of course, has become very famous. He ad-libbed the whole rest of that talk, saying, "I have a dream," probably 9 or 10 times. He started that off, that part of that talk, or that speech, with this. And so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. What's your dream? Are you living it? Even though we have difficulties in life, we still have dreams. This week has been really challenging for me, working on 2 memorial services this week. Bruce's son, Chris, was yesterday. And both of the ones that I was working on this week, we're calling it a celebration of life. Because we got to celebrate. We got to celebrate who we are. We got to celebrate our lives, because especially when you're in this line of work and you experience a lot of memorials and celebrations of life, you realize how short life is. And there's no time to not celebrate it. That we need to celebrate life, that we need to live out loud, that we need to live with passion, with purpose, that we need to dream now. I was recently introduced to a book called The 5 Invitations by Frank, and I don't know if I'm going to say his last name right, Ostaseski. I have to go slow. And in this book, it's about embracing death so you can live life fully, not being afraid of death so that you can live your life fully. And the 5 invitations are different things that we're invited to do in our lifetime. And the first one is don't wait. Don't wait to live your dream. Don't wait to tell somebody you love them. Don't wait to do that thing that you've always wanted to do or be that person you've always wanted to be. Don't wait. I love that he says in the beginning of this chapter, it says, embracing the truth that all things inevitably must end encourages us not to wait in order to begin living each moment in a manner that is deeply engaged. Don't wait. Live out loud. We all get weary sometimes. We all get in a funk. We think, not another day. I can't face another day. Not another staff meeting. Not another school project I have to work on. Not another class I have to take. Not another doctor's appointment. We all get weary. We all get weary. And I love I follow Richard Rohr's blogs each week, and this week was about the prophets and how the prophets of the Hebrew Scriptures most of them they got a call from the divine to do this line of work, to be a prophet, to speak out. And most of them would say, no, not me. No, not my thing. I don't know how to speak in front of people. Are you kidding? Not me. And one of them talked about Jeremiah. And Jeremiah was the prophet who was near the end of his rope. He was really weary with life. Anybody relate? Just weary with life. Complaining to God. And the writer of this particular day's blog, I think it was on Mondays, last Monday, wrote about, here's a probable conversation that Jeremiah had with the divine in modern language. So it's going to be a few screens, but there was no place to cut it off, so we got the whole thing. Life is difficult, Jeremiah. Are you going to quit at the first wave of opposition? Are you going to live cautiously or courageously? I called you to live at your best, to pursue righteousness, to sustain a drive towards excellence. It is easier, I know, to be neurotic. It is easier to be parasitic. It is easier to relax in the embracing arms of the average. Easier, but not better. Easier, but not more significant. Easier, but not more fulfilling. I called you to a life of purpose far beyond what you think yourself capable of living, and promised you adequate strength to fulfill your destiny. Now, at the first sign of difficulty, you are ready to quit. If you are fatigued by this run-of-the-mill crowd of apathetic mediocrities, what will you do when the real race starts? The race with the swift and determined horses of excellence. What is it you really want, Jeremiah? Do you want to shuffle along with this crowd or run with the horses? I just loved that. Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to not be conscious. It's easier to live below the line. It's easier, but it's not as fulfilling. And all of us here are invited to live above the line. Live out loud. Live with purpose, with passion, with intention, and feel that fulfillment of living that way. Try something different. I'm standing in the middle today. I've been standing over there. Try something different. And just a little shift can make a big difference. Look how much more light there is. Try something different. Jeremiah ends up becoming a great prophet. He ends up running with the horses. He lives above the line. He lives out loud. And he proclaims the divine, the Spirit. And in this promise, he says, we're all equipped to do this. It's not like you have this dream in your heart, this thing that you want to express, this thing that you want to do in life, and you don't have the tools to do it. You do. No matter what dream is yours, no matter who you want to be, you are equipped. Spirit has equipped you to be that, to do that. Have faith in that. Trust in that. Take the words of the divine herself, speaking directly to you, inviting you to run with the horses. Are you ready to live your life out loud? Yes. Full out, as that prayer chaplain say, all in? Are you all in? Where are you now? Above the line or below the line? You know, it can change from moment to moment. And let it be. You know, you notice yourself below the line? Okay, I'm going to be curious in this instead of it needing to go my way. Just try it. You might like it. The world needs you to be brilliant. The world needs you to be creative. The world needs you to be you. your beautiful, genuine, authentic, living out loud self. So try it this week. Namaste.